Hey everyone, thank you for taking the time to watch this weekly edition of BD Student News. I'm Andrew Jaworowski, and let's get started with today's stories. First on the list is the Cold War, and we're actually going to be talking with an actual Cold War expert, Jeremiah Gale. So first off, why did Russia and the US join forces?
The US and Russia fought together to beat the Axis powers.
Alright, and why did the Americans not trust the Soviet Union?
Because they're very cautious about Russian communism and their leader, Joseph Stalin.
And what happened after?
Well, you see, the two countries split apart and both had various feelings of distrust and hostility.
So what gave the notion or idea that Russia wasn't to be trusted?
Well, you see, when the war ended, Russia took over a bunch of land that the Germans were forced to give up. And that led to the Americans believing that Russia wanted to take over the world. I know. And they also, guess what they wanted to do?
What?
Spread communism.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's a pretty serious topic, but that's gonna have to end it for today.
Thank you for having me, sir.
No problem.
Up next, we'll have Andrew Jaworowski talking about the hydrogen bomb and a hidden bomb shelter.
This past week, researchers have discovered a hidden bomb shelter which was stocked with food and other items from the Cold War era. Shelters and things like this were built to protect families from nuclear warfare. Due to the Soviet Union and the US threatening each other with nukes, people also practiced attack drills in schools and other public places. Movies from that time were also centered around the nuclear warfare and even had mutant creatures involved. This year is the 64th anniversary since the first use of the hydrogen bomb during the Cold War when it was tested. It was tested because things had to be done to contain the spread of communism from the Soviet Union. In order to do that, the US had to upgrade their defenses. To do that, they particularly started making more of the atomic weapons that ended World War II. When Russia heard of this, they too began the creation of more atomic bombs. Soon after, President Harry Truman publicly announced that the US would be creating an even better atomic bomb, known as the hydrogen bomb. Russia also started working on one of their own when they too found out. Soon the tests of these began. Frankly, the results were catastrophic. The first test created, quote, a 25 square mile fireball that vaporized an island, blew a huge hole in the ocean floor, and had the power to destroy half of Manhattan. Not to mention the very poisonous radioactive waste that went into the atmosphere.
Up next, we'll have Aaliyah talk about women and the civil rights movement.
Hi, I'm Aaliyah Jeffries reporting on BD Student News. Today I will be talking about minority groups with Kaylee Stafford.
Hi, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So, do you consider yourself a minority?
As a young biracial female, I do actually consider myself as a minority. The meaning of minority is being the lesser half of a group, and in most cases, that applies to me.
And how have you been discriminated against or affected by inequality?
Just a couple of months ago, me and my mom went to the airport to visit some family in Florida, and when we were getting on the plane, we were going through security. You know how they ask you those questions about your family and, oh, is this really your mom? When I said yes, they didn't believe me. They didn't believe me because of the different skin colors between me and my mom, because my mom's white and my dad's black, so that's why I look like this. So security took me to a room for a couple hours, because they made me wait for my dad to come pick me up, who's almost the same color as me, because they wouldn't let me go with my mom.
Okay. Well, it was nice having you. Thank you. This is Aaliyah Jeffries from BD Student News reporting out. As we look back in history, it seems that the civil rights movement has accomplished many things. For example, the Voting Rights Act was passed in 1965, as well as the Civil Rights Act in 1968. Now people are able to date a race other than their own. The civil rights movement has benefited all races and gender, although today some races are still against others. People are still able to date and marry who they please without being threatened or killed. Just recently, we discovered that more women than usual are single in our country. Even more of them are the heads of their households. Men, of course, think this shouldn't be happening. But women refuse to stay home all day and cook, clean, and watch their children. But now, having children has become less and less popular over the years. And women say that since this change, they are becoming more independent and are having their own stable living. Now women have decided to get jobs. Not just jobs, but jobs working with men.
Now on to our famous roll call. Today we have listening Miss Probst, Michaela Drake, and Ruben Mojica. Thanks for watching, guys. Heroin is a leading opioid killer in the U.S. Here's Simone with some more information on that.
I'm Simone Hoover from BD Student News. Today I'll be interviewing Diamond Izzard, a former heroin addict. Here she is, guys. Hello, Diamond. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
I'm Simone.
Yeah.
So lucky we can have you here today. So, as a former heroin addict, how has it been to avoiding heroin and other drugs?
It's been very difficult because I usually wear long sleeve, not because I'm cold, but to cover my scars.
Can we get a close up on this?
Wow. Just wow.
What are some other difficulties you went through from?
It's been very difficult because, I lost what I love the most, my family, my job, my school, my friends, sports, everything I love dearly. And it's emotional and physical, severely just a trauma for me. And I just want to say,
Can we get some tissue? Can we get some tissue, please?
Thank you so much.
Education systems in the U.S. have been struggling to keep the attention of their students. Is it due to boring curriculum, or is it something deeper than that? 1 out of 4 students have reported being bullied during the school year. Students who are bullied experience academic failure and are at risk for both mental health issues and behavioral problems. Schools all over the country have been trying to end bullying by having speakers come and talk to students, having classes about it, and even just getting rid of the problem by eliminating bullies at their school. Will bullying come to an end, or just grow in size? The Great Recession hit everyone as a surprise during the late 2000s because it was the largest downturn since the Great Depression during the 1930s. Many properties became outrageously expensive during this time frame.
This medium-sized townhome in San Francisco costs upwards of $635,000. The average income of a family in San Francisco is about $99,300.
After the Great Recession ending in 2009, the US was ecstatic, but are we starting to see the same downturn that we did 7 years ago? The talk of LGBT equality has dramatically grown over the past few years. In 2015, the Same-Sex Marriage Act was passed. Gay couples everywhere were more than enthusiastic about this, but there's still a lot left to accomplish on this long journey to LGBT equality. Laws have been passed that prevent transgender individuals to not be allowed to use the bathroom of the gender that they identify as. They are instead forced to use the bathroom as the gender that they were born as. People can even get fired for being gay or transgender, or even could be refused housing if they identify as being transgender. They have come a long way, but still have a long, hard fight left to reach complete equality. I'm Simone.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Leah.
Hey.
And this is BD Student News.
Northside coolin' shorty, yeah, that's where I stay. Heard you was a lame boy, get up out my face, and my